Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be showing you how to collect location and visitation data in Swift. So let's get started. We're going to start by creating a new project, a single view application. Let's call it the Visitation app. Let's go ahead and place that in our tutorial folder. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is set up some capabilities. So let's go ahead over to capabilities. Because it's going to be collecting location data in the background, we're going to go ahead and turn that on and hit location data. Location updates and background fetch. Now, if we move over to our info plist, we're going to need to set some properties uh, that show the user that we're collecting their data. So if you add a new property here, let's type in privacy, and we're just going to scroll down to location, always, and when in usage, description, and we're going to say collect location points or whatever you decide to name it. All right, so we're going to need another one here. Very similar, privacy, location, usage description. And let's just go ahead and give that the same value. And our last one will be for collecting data in the background. So let's go ahead and add one. And this will be application does not run in background. And I believe that will default to no. Okay, so now that we have that all set, let's go ahead and add a new file. Let's make it a Cocoa Touch class on this object. We're going to call this one location manager. This is where we're going to add our CL location object. Okay, and let's go ahead and create that. Add it to our project. Okay, so this is going to start empty. There's going to be a couple things we need to import here. The first thing is going to be core location. Now that you have this, you can go ahead and create a object for your CL location manager class. So let's go ahead and set our location manager of type CL location manager, and that will be a forced unwrapped, and we will set that in our initializer. So let's go ahead here and override our initializer, and of course super init, and then we'll create another function for initializing our location manager, and let's call this one init location manager. In here, we're going to set our location manager to CL location manager, create an instance of that. And because we are setting delegate functions in here for collecting data, we are going to need to make this class our CL location manager delegate. There we go. Likewise, we'll need to set self.locationmanager.delegate to self. A couple other things for collecting data, we'll need to set our CL location manager location services enabled. We'll also set our accuracy to best, which will typically be about 5 meters depending where you are. And then we will request to always authorize location use. And we will also make sure that we are able to collect location in the background. All right, let's make sure to call this function in our initializer. Okay, so the next thing we'll do here is to check the status of authorization. So typically you'll see that little message pop up that says, this app would like to use your location, allow always, when in use, or never. So let's go ahead and check what the person sets that to by checking a delegate function, which is did change authorization. So let's go ahead and set should I allow, meaning did they allow usage for location, to false. We're going to go ahead and switch on the status parameter. We'll have our first case here, which will be restricted. And let's go ahead and create a variable up here for our status. and we're going to name that location status. Type NSString, and that's going to default to not started. Okay, so now in our restricted case, we're going to go ahead and change that variable. So let's type self dot location status, and let's say restricted access to location. Similarly, case CL authorization status. Our next one here is going to be denied, and we will set this string here to user denied access to location. Our next one's going to be not determined. Let's go ahead and say status not determined. And we have our default, which is that the user allowed location use. So let's set location status to allowed location access. And here we'll also change that bool to should I allow to true. Okay, and let's get out of our switch statement here. And now we're just going to check if should I allow, and if so, we'll print to nslog location allowed. Then we'll also start updating location, and we'll start monitoring visits. So let's go ahead and look at our location manager and call start updating visits, as well as self.location manager dot start updating location. Okay. We also have to think about, here we go, let's fix that little error there. We also have to think about if we get an error from our location manager. So let's go ahead and handle that right now. That'll be a delegate function called did fail with error. So location manager did fail with error. And let's go ahead and stop updating location and monitoring visits in that case. And we're going to go ahead and print that error. Okay. Now we need to actually get the location visitation points. That's going to be another delegate function. The first one we're going to do is did visit. There we go. And for this one, right now, we're just going to print out the visit. Similarly, we're going to look at our location updates, which will be did update location. And similarly, we're just going to print that location parameter. Now, because this is a class, we'll need somewhere to, let's see, locations. We'll need somewhere to instantiate this class. So let's go ahead over to our delegate function, since we want this class to start up every time the app opens. So let's go to our app delegate, and we're going to put it in did finish launching with options. So let's go ahead and set an optional value. Similarly, we're going to call it location manager of type location manager optional, and then we will set our location manager. Based on the class, like so. Let's go ahead and capitalize that. And we should get no errors. Okay, let's go ahead and save that file. The next thing we're going to need to do is create a file um, to fake our location, or to um, create a fake visit per se. So let's go ahead and go over to a website called Gpx Generator. So on this website, you can go ahead and you can create paths. And typically, you'll go to a city and you'll decide to create a path inside the city. And because we want a visitation, let's delete that last waypoint. We'll start walking through the city and we'll go ahead and stop in a store. And let's give a couple points in there. And then we will exit the store and continue on our way. Okay. And once you generate this Gpx file, you'll want to copy it into a Gpx file. And so now that we've generated this Gpx file, you're going to want to go ahead and create a Gpx file in a folder and drag that into your project. However, you may want to extend the time for some of these, or modify the time such that a visit at a point occurs for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, so that in our location manager file, it will call the did visit delegate function. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to skip forward. All right, and we're back. So as you can see, I have my Starbucks walk.gpx, and I have about a 4-minute visit in Starbucks right here. And then I'm going to continue down the road. And in order to simulate this location, we're going to go ahead and hit Product, Scheme, Edit Scheme. And it should be checked, Allow Location Simulation. And we're going to go ahead and hit Starbucks Walk and hit Close. You're also going to want to clean your scheme, so go ahead and hit Command-Shift-K. And now we're going to go ahead and run our application on a iPhone X. It may take a minute for your simulator to build up, so be patient. All right, so here we got an error when attempting to access privacy-sensitive data without a usage description. So we're going to go ahead back into our info plist, and we're going to change this privacy location usage description to privacy. And we're looking for when in usage description. So let's go ahead and search through this. Privacy, location, when in use description. We're going to go ahead and save that, and let's try to rerun our app. Let's clean that and run it. Okay, so here you have the screen saying, here you have your info plist value, collect location points, and I'm going to hit always allow. And so it should start updating your location. And there it is. If you go ahead and see your output here in the console, you'll see that it's walking around that path that I had set. All right, and there you have it. That will be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and like or subscribe. In the following videos, we'll be looking at how to manage the collection of these points, how to get fields from these points, how to create a put request to an API in Swift, and later we'll create a ingestion engine in AWS, a data lake, and we'll create a dashboard website for viewing business intelligence points about the data we collected. So thank you, and see you next time.